Hola, ¿cómo estás? Más o menos? Bien, bien. Thanks, right? Hola. Like, hello, how are you? Not good, but not bad. Good, good. Obviously, that's English. Cześć. Jak się masz? Kojarz mnie? Dobrze, dobrze. That's Polish. All three of them mean the exact same thing. Hello, how are you? Not good, but not bad. Good, good. I compare the three because schools these days require you to learn a foreign language elective. Most of the time it's Spanish or French, just because south of us we have Mexico, which is Spanish speaking, and north of us we have Canada, which has French roots, and they do utilize some French vocabulary now and then. I've learned while being in Poland that sometimes you need to learn another language, especially the one that you're going into, so that way you can adapt to the culture a little bit more. Polish language, while sounding very different, can be very similar to English, at least in the sense of the written vocabulary. Now there is family tree resemblance, which we will take a look at, and some common phrases that we can look at just to see the difference between us and them. Has a very quick background. Last year was the first time I ever came to Poland. I was in Poland for about a month, and we learned the basic phrases. This year, we came and we're going to stay for a longer time frame, so we're using Duolingo to try to help us out a little bit, which it really does help. It's helped me learn different phrasing and how to write it correctly. The Polish really love the fact that we try to speak with them on their language. It shows that we're trying to be respectful and trying to understand them versus us going and thinking that they should know English. Don't get me wrong, English is a second language to them. We come in and we talk, and they're going to laugh and giggle and say that we don't know good Polish, and then they talk to us in English. But they still appreciate us trying. That's the thing. But before going into the language of Poland, we got to talk about the family tree idea. So, you take a look. The linguists that study languages have a belief that there is one major language out there. Now, this is millennia ago, before there was even written languages. If you take a look, there's a lot out there. So the red ones are dead languages, and the green ones are still alive. So there's a lot of alive languages out there still. The other thought, too, is that the Tower of Babylon, which was a religious belief by the Christian faith, Catholic faith, was a tower erected by all the major people in the world to try and reach the heavens, and God struck down the tower and scattered the people and scattered their languages. Either way you look at it, scientifically or religiously, they both believe that there was one major language and then it diverged off. Taking a quick look, the red path shows where our language lies. It follows all the way down Korean, all the way down to, put up the magnifier for you, the Indo-European family, which if you go down, we're pretty connected up to this point right here. And then it branches off to Germanic, and all the way down to us, and Balto-Slavic, which goes all the way down to Polish. So we're actually pretty close together when you look at everyone all together. Moving on to the alphabet. Our alphabet is pretty similar to the Polish alphabet too. This is based on the fact that they both are revolving around Latin roots. The Catholic Church uses Latin for a lot of their activities, and Poland itself has been a Catholic country for at least 5 centuries, growing and shrinking and being a country and not being a country anymore. No matter what it's gone through, it's always turned to Catholicism, which would explain why they have an A and a B and D's and E's and F's, H's, all the letters that we have. There are some that are missing, like Q, X, V. Those are more for a foreign thing, like Xander as a name would be a foreign concept for them because they don't use the Z's. And they make a few changes, like they have accents and L's with a dash, which actually sounds like a W. So instead of it, like there's a town here called Slupca, we think slupka, but in Polish it's swoopka. So it's a little bit more tricky. These are some of the common phrases that we use, including cześć, do widzenia, which is just hello and goodbye. Cześć itself could mean hi or bye. It's got a double meaning, just like Prussia, which means please or you're welcome depending on how you use it. Przepraszam, I'm sorry, excuse me. The problem with these phrases is in America, if we don't know how to spell it, we sound it out. You can't necessarily do that here because the words don't match up to what the sound sounds like from our ears. Unless you go and study grammar and syntax and spelling rules and all that, which that is not what this presentation is, then you just gotta try to memorize it a little bit. Especially when it comes to ones like rzędowe, rzęd. It's more difficult because it's more with J. It's not really D-Z-I. Or like down here, my favorite, ciasteczka, which means cookies. If you look, you got a C, a Z, and a K all together, no vowel in between. That initiates what's considered a swallowing motion when you're enunciating with Polish vocabulary. It's kind of hard to explain, but you really do feel like you're kind of like swallowing your tongue when you say words like ciasteczka. This is just a little chart I put up here to kind of help see and emphasize in some of the consonants and how they enunciate. Like for example, W's or V's, or how to say the DZ's or CZ's. Just kind of get changing up quick. I'll give you a quick minute to look at it. Okay. So obviously this is a video, so you can pause it if you need to go back. But this also gives me a minute to collect my thoughts. Alright, so these are my references for you to go ahead and stare at while I give you a quick conclusion. Polski is a language that is very rich in meaning and rich in culture. It's been around for a very long time, growing and evolving just like everything else in the world. Even though when you look at the family trees, we are very close, we do have major differences. But it's this Latin root that brings us together for the alphabet, for us to be able to at least comprehend a little bit of how to do it, versus trying to go and write in Chinese where it's all symbols and there's no correlation, so it's harder for us to make that synaptic jump. Controversially, the words are very difficult to say unless you know how to use them, like how we have diphthongs and everything. Again, that's another lesson, but you get used to it and you start noticing patterns and trends. You just gotta do the research and understand a little bit. Use these references and find yourself a favorite word or a phrase, something that you can practice saying over and over until eventually you get it right and you start to notice how to say it and your mind remembers this. My favorite is ja jedzą, ciasteczka, chleb I piję, woda I mleko. That means I like to eat cookies and bread and drink water and milk. It's always fun. Alright guys, bye.